In this video, I'm going to cover what we call our fighting stance or our guarding stance and some fundamental blocks and strikes. So we showed a horse stance earlier where you drop your center of mass and you just drop down. Obviously, that's good for dropping your center of gravity and being rooted to the ground, being stable, but it's not a great fighting position. I'm completely exposed, right? And if you want to, punch me in the nose, my hands are way down, or kick me in the groin, I'm square on. There's a lot of reasons why there's open opportunity for the other person to strike you, right? So that stance is good about controlling center of balance and center of mass, but it's not necessarily so good as a core defensive posture, right? So what I'm going to do next is show you our what we call fighting stance or guarding stance and kind of explain how that works. So it's like a mini horse stance, but we're going to turn sideways and my feet are going to be angled towards the front. Now my hips are also angled to the front. I'm not square so that I'm not a big target. I'm not totally profile because I want my backhand to be in the game, basically in reach. So I'm going to basically put my back foot's heel on the same line as my front foot's toes and then angle my toes slightly forward. So I'm facing forward on probably I don't know, it's not quite a 45. I'm a little bit more narrow than that angle, right? My backhand's going to come up. Okay, first, let me take one step back. First thing is knees bent. Not as deep as a horse stance, but I do need my center of gravity to be a little bit lower so that I have base and stability. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I put my elbows in by my body. I want them close to the center, so not out under my shoulders, but in center to help protect. Hands up, and by up, I mean cheekbone level, right? Chin slightly down. So if someone did hit me in the head, they're not getting to knock my head around and make it turn, but my head's tucked in. So if they hit me, it will not feel great, but my brain won't rattle around, and the structure of my neck and head is strong. Okay. And then eyes forward, of course, so that I can protect myself. So in my fighting stance, I want the weight to be on the balls of my feet, particularly my back foot. I don't know if you can see, but my heel is just a little bit off the ground because that leg is the one that's going to do most of the driving for power. Okay. We're going to do three of the blocks that we did earlier in star block because we're just going to focus on covering the upper torso. Upper block, and this time all I'm doing is taking my hand from guard position, and it's almost like I'm punching up above the opposite temple. I'm just going to shoot my hand up and create that rooftop. Then from there, I drop my elbow in. I don't have to travel as far because my body's profile, right? So now that block comes real easy, right? And then out, and again, I don't have to cover as much because I'm profile. So that's your core three blocks from your fighting stance or your guarding stance, right? If we're doing tournament type sparring, we call it fighting stance. If it's self-defense, it's more guarding. And the big difference would be if we're doing competition stuff, we bow in, we're gloved up, everybody's signed up to do a sport fight, right? Or if you're thinking self-defense, we probably would start hands open. This is not the kind of thing that I want to do, want to have to do, but if I had to, I could protect myself. But the core structure is the same. It just has a lot to do with whether I start out in a more passive position. You'll also notice in sport fighting, my hands are very tight because we're playing a sport. In self-defense, my hands are going to project a little bit more because I want to encounter whatever's coming at me sooner because you never know when someone's is holding a weapon, basically, right? So I'd rather deal with the weapon at some range rather than close into my body. But we're going to start from the fighting stance because that's a more normal situation is working drills and working from that position. So my knees are bent, my elbows are in, my hands are up, my chin is down, my eyes are forward, my three core blocks up above the head, in towards the center, out past the shoulder. And that pretty much protects my head and shoulders. Ready? Go up, in, out, and bring it right back to rest. Good. Go up, in, out, and put it back. Good. Now we talked to the kids about upstairs, downstairs toy box, right? If you take toys out and you play with them, you leave them on the floor, your parents step on them, they get broken, right? But if you put them back in the toy box and the toy's there when you need it. Well, we say this is the upstairs toy box. When I'm done with my punches or hands, I put them back where they belong, just like in traditional karate where we put them at the waist. That would be your downstairs toy box. When you're done there, you put them away at the waist. So in our fighting system, hands come right back up, same three blocks, ready to go up, in, out, and then put it away. One more time, up, in, out, and put it away. Okay, we're going to add a skill. We're going to add the reverse punch. So we go up, in, out. As soon as that block happens, we're going to counter. So we're going to throw a counter strike off the back hand. And as that back hand starts to shoot forward, the front hand comes in to cover. And we turn the hip and promote that back hip to add power and strength and structure to our punch. And then we draw that right back the same way. So it goes up, in, out. As this hand comes back, that hand comes out. There's my punch, and I put it away. Okay, about 5 of those go up, in, out, punch. Again, up, in, out, punch. And again, up, in, out, punch. 2 more, up, in, out, punch. And last set, best set, up, in, out, punch. All right, and then back to ready. So you can see from there how I'm doing a pretty good job of covering whichever direction the attack comes from. Now, obviously, I don't have to do all 3 blocks in a pattern. If someone's grabbing for my hair, I could just do the up block. Or they're punching me in the face, I could just do the inner block. And I can just choose the block that fits. And of course, I could go straight from block to counter punch. But that gives you a good practicing routine to make sure you're covering those core blocks and protecting the upper portion of your body and head.